talked about power of consistency and visibility. So I just want to throw more light on why I always emphasize on importance of consistency and importance of visibility. Um, so as a developer, as a business person, as a content creator, whatever it is, one thing that is universal in terms of driving success and also driving growth is consistency. And one thing that is also universal in terms of putting your business out there, in terms of helping you drive the market demand that you probably is looking out for, is also visibility. So what this means is, especially in tech, I talk about tech a lot because uh, I'm I'm in tech, building my career in tech. I won't say I've arrived. I'm still at that journey, but based on my 5+ years professional experience now being in this field, I can tell you for free that consistency and visibility has been one of my greatest drivers in terms of helping me to attain those heights that I wanted, and also helping me to achieve those things that I needed to achieve within my career, within my field, within my space. But what I found out is that a lot of newbies make the mistake of not, figuring out a strategy that will help them remain consistent, and also a strategy that will help them drive maximum visibility. And I don't blame them, it's not their fault. This always happens when you don't have a mentor, you don't belong to any community, you don't have anybody hand holding you. I personally, went through cycles before I was able to, understand the power of visibility and consistency. So before I started gaining grounds in terms of people now knowing who I am, knowing my brand, knowing what I do and what I'm capable of doing, I had been learning, I've been pushing stuff, but what I understood at the long run was that, I was more focused on consistency and my visibility was quite low. So there are a lot of people out there, is either they are suffering from visibility, or they are suffering from lack of visibility rather, or they are suffering from lack of consistency. Now, it's really difficult to, especially consistency and visibility. Two of them is not easy, because visibility means there is something you need to put out there is something you are talking about all the time, there is something you are pushing and bringing to people's faces. And consistency means, you're always grinding, you're always, on your desk, you're always typing, learning, pushing stuff, coding, and whatever the case is, for you. So it's not an easy thing to do. Now, what this means is, if you're a learner, you are still starting in tech, you want to start learning, you want to start building your career, uh, two things you need to figure out is, how do you remain consistent? And you can't remain consistent if you don't have, first of all, source of sustenance. What that means is, as a beginner, definitely you shouldn't be expecting anybody to pay you for anything. You shouldn't be expecting anybody to pay you for, except you are doing maybe a paid internship or something and you are learning on the job. That is quite different. But for the traditional learners, you shouldn't expect anybody to be paying you while you're learning. You shouldn't also expect anybody to hire you while you are still learning, because you are actually still building your skills. So this is why it's important, if you want to venture into tech, if you want to start learning something, even anything new. Take for example, for me, I can pick up anything and say I want to learn it, as long as I have the time to dedicate to learn it, because I'm not bothered about house rent, I'm not bothered about food, I'm not bothered about anything, I'm not bothered about my responsibility, because I already have a source of income that can, foot those bills for me. But if you don't have, it's quite difficult. It will be quite difficult for you to be consistent in your learning. trust me, it will be quite difficult for you to remain consistent in your learning, because what this means is you are, today you are learning, then tomorrow you are, discouraged. uh, Maybe you keep learning, you remain consistent for 6 months, and then after 6 months, nothing is coming up, no job, no contracts, no gig, nothing, right? And then man got to eat, and you have also bills to pay. That is why it's always important for you to have something that can help sustain you while you go through that learning phase. So consistency is not easy, because you need to have, first of all, source of what? Sustenance. And again, you need to have someone that can hold you accountable to your learning, accountable to your journey, accountable to that particular phase that you are going through. This could be your mentor, this could be your learning peers, this could be your community. It could actually be anybody, but you really, really need to have someone that can hold you accountable. And now, the second aspect of it is visibility. Now you are consistent, you are building stuff, you are pushing out code, you are contributing. Second thing you also need to build a strategy for is, how do you keep your visibility up there, right? As you are driving your consistency, you need to also drive what? Your visibility. And it's quite easy for you to do that. I tell people a lot, I tell a lot of people that it is easy for you to drive your visibility. A practical example is for a learner. Every learner, every module that you want to learn, take for a typical example, you are learning front-end engineering, and then you have a module you are going through, or you have a course you are using, or learning part, whatever it is, and each course has modules, and each module has topics, right? For you to drive your visibility is quite easy. That, first day in class, you are taught variables, what are variables, different types of variables, different types of data type. What you can do for yourself is, after that course, after the class that day, if you are a self-learner, the same thing applies. If you are attending a training school or something, the same thing also applies. What you can do is, after your class, your training, your course that day, before you shut your laptop down, take your time, start to reflect on everything you've learned, write them down, jot it down, and then in your own terms, explain what you've learned that day. What you can then do with that is, you can then write an article on it. It could be a blog post. Today I finished learning about blah 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 blah. I understood the concept of blah 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 blah. This is what blah 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 does. This is what variable is. Variable is used for this, is used for that. Different types of data type we have in Python, we have in JavaScript, whichever language you are learning, and then you post it, right? The next day it could be another topic. You follow the same thing. What this is doing for you is helping you be accountable, helping drive your consistency, because now there are a lot of people that will be looking, oh, this guy is on a journey of learning, and every day they might want to also look out for things that you are going to talk about based on your learning journey. And then it also helps you to do or drive that visibility that we are talking about today. And then also, when you have done learning that particular module, you can then, and every module you finish, there is always a project that comes after it. You can also do what? Write about that. You can also write about the project that you built using blah 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 knowledge that you've acquired throughout your learning journey, or after learning this and this and this. And one good thing about it is that you don't know who is watching, you don't know who is looking at your stuff there. So it's really, really important. A lot of people I've spoken to, that are in tech, and they are struggling to find their feet. They are always struggling from one of these two things. It's either they are struggling from consistency, or they are struggling from visibility. So, and I always advise them to go and fix it. So fixing it most times is not easy, because there are a lot of people that especially figuring a source of sustenance is quite difficult. So it's always a privilege to, if you have someone You are still with your parents, is a privilege. You are still in school, is a privilege. Because once you are done with school and you are no longer with your parents, means all the bills are on you. So figuring out source of sustenance and then learning new things becomes more difficult. So that is why I always advise the best time to learn is when you have what source of sustenance, when you're already on something that gives you monthly, weekly, daily, whatever income that can help you pay off your bills while you concentrate and learn on other stuff. For me, a typical example, my 9 to 5 pays my bills and all, and sometimes I have, like I'm making this video today now, I could use this time to uh, learn something new. Maybe I want to go back to front-end engineering. I could use this time to start learning. Maybe next week, if I have any other time again, I will also dedicate that time to learn. So what I'm trying to say here is means of sustenance is always the biggest challenge in terms of learning and also in terms of staying consistent. And then I've also spoken with people that they are consistently learning because they have source of sustenance, but then they always shy away from talking about their stuff, talking about what they are doing, putting it out there. And then if I ask why, there is always that is either they are shy or they are like they don't know how people receive whatever content they are putting out there. But I always tell them, why should you care? Why should you bother? There is nothing called perfection. You grow into perfection if you don't do it right, and you need those feedback to even perfect your craft. If people are not giving you feedback, how will you perfect your craft? People can't give you feedback on what they don't have visibility of. You get a point. So visibility and consistency is really important if you want to strive in tech, if you want to grow your career, even outside tech. This kind of applies to every field that actually, especially for people that want to learn and also grow in their career. I always give people I speak with challenge of try these two things consistently on whatever field that you are. Within 6 months, if you don't see a change, right, you can tag me or send me an email and tell me, this thing you're saying is not working. But then it actually works. It really, really works. For me, I didn't gain grounds. I did software engineering, front end, back end. When I started, getting the gigs, getting contracts, was when I started, actively engaging in community. When I started talking about data science, when I started, speaking at events, speaking at conferences, writing about it, posting, writing blogs, talking about it all the time. This was when I started getting opportunities. This was when I got the first opportunity, which almost every beginner first opportunity is for teaching opportunity and mentoring opportunity. So that was when I got mine. Those opportunities are the opportunities that actually opened the door for me. Those are the opportunities that I graduated, that matured into bringing the opportunity that got me to where I am today. Don't underrate the power of consistency and visibility. If you're a learner, if you are trying to acquire new skill, if you are trying to do whatever, even your business, always remain consistent, always push for visibility of your craft, visibility of your business, visibility of your career. In my live videos, I talked about when people don't announce you, you go ahead to do what? Announce yourself, because you need that announcement to be able to do what? Grow in whatever you are doing. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. See you on the next one.